Hi there, and welcome to Tech Life, a channel where I aim to review everything from selfie sticks to laptops, IDEs for coding, video editing software, software for producing thumbnails, essentially anything tech related. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. If you have anything that you think I should review, please let me know in the comments, and I'll do my best to review the product. So this video is going to be a quick follow-up to my previous VSD tutorial. I'll leave a link to that video in case you haven't seen it already. In this video I'll be showing you a few things like how to add transitions to your videos. I'll show you how to crop a video, how to maybe rotate a video clip, and how to blur out a particular area of a screen. So let's get started. If you've seen my previous tutorial, you will recognize the Lamborghini project that's currently loaded on your screens. I'll be using this project to illustrate some of the features I've just mentioned. Firstly, I'll show you how to add a transition to the clips in your project. Transitions essentially are special effects that we can add to the start or the end of a clip in our project, and it just makes the movement from playing the end of one clip to the start of the new clip a bit more interesting. So in order to add a transition, first we have to ensure that we have selected the object that we want to add the effect to. So I'm gonna click do a single left mouse click on this first object, and we can just about see that it's selected because it adds these little square icons to the start and end of an object once you have an object selected. And then we go up to our menu at the top here, and we are going to add a video effect. So we click on video effects, and we come down to transitions, and here we can see a handful of special effects that we can add to the object. So if I quickly go ahead and select one of these, select page turn. So this dialog is informing us that it's going to add it to the end of the scene, and it's going to insert it onto a new layer. So that's okay. We can click that. If we go back to our clips, and if we do a preview, we can see the effect that was added was a page turn. So we've added a page turn effect, a transition to the first object. Let's go ahead and add another one to this second object. So again, we select the object by doing a single left click. We go up to video effects. We go to transitions, and we select one of the transitions. Let's select chess. This dialog informs us where it's going to place the transition, so it's going to place it at the end, and it's going to create a new layer. We're okay with that, we're happy with that. If we go back to scenes and we play, excellent. So we can see that second transition was applied to the second object, and in this case it was the chest effect. Okay, so that's great. So I'm going to show you a few more things. One of those things is going to be this cropping tool. So if you look at this video, this clip at the moment, it seems to be sitting more to the left hand side. There's less space over here, there's a lot more space over here, and it's not centered. In order to rectify something like this, you can use this cropping tool. So if I move this cursor back to the start, I've got the first object here selected, and if I click the cropping tool, we can crop all of these unwanted black areas out just by dragging these points across. Like so. And now if you hit OK, you can see that the video, this particular clip has been centered, and all those additional unwanted black areas have disappeared. We can go ahead and do the same to the other two objects. We'll do this one first. So again, select the object, click the cropping tool, and then simply drag the sides in to crop off. That's that one. We OK that one, and lastly this one over here. Selected the objects, cropping tool, and drag those in. Cool. Another useful tool that VSDC provides is a blurring tool. So if we go back to scenes, sometimes we wish to hide certain parts of our videos. Prime example in this video would be probably the license plate number of this particular vehicle. So if we select the object by doing a single left click, and if we go up to video effects and filters, we can see an option called delogo. There are other blurring effects available: box blur, stack blur, motion blur. The one we want for now is called delogo. So if I click that, this dialog informs us it's going to place the effect at the current cursor position and insert it onto a new layer, which we're happy with, and there we see the blur applied to our current object. We can move this around. We can focus it in on the object that we wish to blur out, like so. We can also decrease the length of time this effects lasts for, just by dragging this across. And then we can go back to scenes. Now, a point to note, this is the free version of VSDC, so this blurring effect will not track anything that moves. So as this vehicle moves away, the blurring effect will remain in position, and so as this vehicle moves down the road, the number plate will be visible again. As far as I know, blurring effects which actually track moving objects are only available in the paid version of VSDC. So let's just have a quick preview of what we've done so far. So if I play this, okay, so we could see that for that split second the blur effect did take place, but as mentioned, when the car moved further down the road, then the blurring effect remained in place and the car's license plate number was visible again. If I go back to video tab and delete this D logo and then go back to the same object, we can also apply another blurring effect. It's called box blur, So again, it's in video effects, filters and box blur. And this dialog informs us that the effect will be positioned at the current cursor position and inserted onto a new layer. And this is the length of time it's going to last for. Basically what box blur does is it blurs out the whole of the screen, so the whole of this object will be blurred out, but as you can see at the moment, there doesn't seem to be any blurring effect taking place, and that's because what you have to do in order to make this particular blur effect work is to select the object, the blurring object itself, which allows us to access the properties of that object, and then we have to increase this blur levels. Oh, sorry, blur level. If I increase that, if I increase this to 20, and now if I go back to scenes, we can see that the whole of this screen is now blurred out. That's it for this particular video. As mentioned before, I will be making another video which will cover the motion blur functionality within VSDC, video filters, motion blur. That will be a slightly shorter video, and there will be a standalone video just covering this particular functionality. So for now, thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and maybe consider subscribing. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one.